Hey there guys, welcome back to my Android tutorial series, and in this couple of videos I will gonna tell you about how to exchange result from one activity to another. That is, you may that result may be some part of the calculations or computations you have performed in one activity, or maybe you have performed certain job in one activity and you want to reflect those results in another activity on all that stuff. So I will gonna tell you about how to achieve that task, that particular task. You may use various object oriented techniques or Android techniques to achieve this particular task, but um, in this series I will cover the Android part, that what Android gives us to achieve this task. So in this particular video I will tell you about the most simplest part, and then in the next video I will tell you about yet another component of the Android broadcast receivers, and most probably in the final video I will tell you about the job dispatcher part, which is yet the most interesting part that you may come across in this series. So first thing first, in this tutorial I will start with the most basic part, the most simplest technique that you may use to achieve the um, achieve by transferring the results. Okay, so in this tutorial I will use two activities basically, and I have already designed the layout for the first activity. I am simply using here linear layout and two views, text view and button, aligned vertically. That is, its orientation is vertical. So since I have defined already, so let's move towards our main activity part and assign the global variables, text view and button, for the two views. Sorry, I have to define them inside the class. Okay, now I will connect these variables with the XML variables so that I can make them communicate throughout my activity. I will use find view by id method r.id dot. In here I wanted to mention one thing, that whenever I type r.id dot, Android gives the IDs, the unique identifiers of all the views that I have defined throughout my activity. Since I do not have to worry about that much, because I have for the most part I have used only two simple views or two simple activities, but you may come across problems if you try to access the identifiers or views of another XML layout other than the one defined in this set content view. If you try to achieve this, Android will not throw any error. Android will accept it. But whenever you try to run your application will crash, giving you some annoying error messages in the log. So please make it sure that you are using the identifiers of the views that are defined in this layout that is mentioned in the set content view of the activity respectively. So for the text view part, I will definitely check that I am using this identity. Change me text. Change me text. Same for the button. I will typecast it to button, because find view by ID returns view and we have to typecast it to the respective view that we want to assign. Change me button. Change me button. Next I will assign on click listener to my button, and in this on click method I will start another activity to grab the results from. So I haven't mentioned that activity, but I will start writing the code and will make activity later. For this purpose I will use intent, and I'm assuming that you know about intent, but let's make it simple. Intent is just like a parcel that a postman dispatches on your door. In here, our postman will be main activity, and for the most part the receiver will be the next activity that will receive this parcel. So yeah, this is the most simplest, I guess, yet most simplest concept on how you can understand the intent. In here I will pass the details that about the sender and the receiver that are not necessary, but in this situation it is necessary. So main activity dot this is the context of the sender, and for the receiver, which I haven't yet made the activity, but I will mention its name, will be request change activity dot class, and I will start this activity for grabbing the results. So I will start activity, I will choose the method start activity for result, and I will pass in that parcel that I have created previously, and the unique request code that will identify the request of my particular activity, 1000 in this case, or you may assign any arbitrary integer value here. This may not make any difference in this case, since I am using only one or two activities at most. But while making complex activities and complex applications, you may come across with many of such requests. So you may need to keep a track of these request codes respectively. So next I will make an activity that I have mentioned here, the unknown activity, request change activity. Click finish. Android is performing some background task, and when it will be done we will resume our coding part. Building running Gradle builds. It's still building. Gradle build is running. Oh, sometimes it becomes very frustrated. Okay, so Gradle build is almost finished. Now here I will again modify my layout part. I will use linear layout again with the orientation set to vertical, and orientation set to vertical, and will assign some padding so that it may not stuck with my phone's screen. So first of all, orientation as vertical, and padding to give it a nicer look. Padding will be of 32 dips enough, I guess. Yes. And for this activity I will use two views, edit text, assign its width as match parent and height as rep content. I will assign it a unique identifier so that I can send it text to its text to my next activity. For this purpose I will use changed text box, and I will use a button. I will assign its layout width to wrap content and height to match parent, and again I will assign it a unique identifier so that you can assign its set on click listener on it. So change request change text, and for the text part I will assign a text so that it can show on my button, click me, or let's type here change text. Again, I will make global variables of my views, edit text in this case, and button. I will connect these variables with the views by finding the view by ID and typecasting it to edit text. Change text box. r.id.changed text box. For button part, I will use button find view by ID r.id. I guess request change text. Yes, request change text. I will set on click listener on it, new on click listener, and in here I will pass the text from the edit text to the activity that has requested some sort of result from it. Again, I will use a parcel that I have explained in the previous activity. Intent is equals to new intent, and I will not pass any of the arguments in here. Why? Because I am well aware that who is the receiver of this result. Since I have started an activity for result, so this request change activity is well aware of well aware that which activity has called it to grab the results. So I have not I do not need to pass any of the arguments in this parser. What I will do instead will put some string extras. I have to put some of the materials that I want to make passed to the next activity. In this case, I will use the text from the edit text, and we'll use the put extra method of our intent. Put extra method works in a way that I have to assign it a key and a value. The key will be used to grab the result as a unique identifier, using the unique identifier. So in this case, I will use the key as change text, and its value will be the edit text dot get text, and I will change it to a string, since get text returns a char sequence, and we will get the extras as a string, so we have to convert it into to a string. Next, I will set the result code. This is necessary. In this case, it is not necessary, but it may be necessary for you. So I feel that I have to tell you about it. Setting the result code is necessary because when I will override another method in main activity, I will explain you more clearly. What we have to do is to mention the unique integer value for our result code, which will help us to identify the results, the unique results. Next, I will finish the activity on button click, and what I will do here will override another method of activity as on activity result, and this is the result code that I was talking about. Since I do not have too much worry about in this tutorial, because I'm using only one activity. But for your convenience, I want to tell you that how you can use various results calls from all of the activities around your application to work perfectly. So you may use simply switch case statement here, and the cases will be the result code that you have set in the set result method of the various activities throughout your application. In this case, it is 1200, so our first case will be 1200, and so on, maybe 1201, 1202, 1203 for second, third, fourth, and fifth activities, and so on. All those activities will be defined as start activity for result, intent, and the request code. I will break the case here, And what I will do is assign that text view the string that I have passed in the extra method of the intent. I will receive that string extra from the data. This basically this is the parcel that we have sent um, here, sent from here. Oh, one thing I have to set that I have to send the intent also, because besides the um, result code, we have to send the intent also, the parcel that contains our text. So sorry for that. So that intent that I have sent in this set result method is grabbed in this argument data, and we will grab the string from this data by using the method get string extra. I will tell the name of the key that I have mentioned here, that I want to grab this particular key. So the value of the edit text that I have put in the string extra here with the key change text passing from the set result method is grabbed from the get string extra in our string change text. Now I will simply assign its value to my text view by using set text method, and we all are in good shape for the most part. Yes. um I guess enough with the coding part. Now let's test our application. I will run it on my original phone. It's already connected with the USB cable. So while this application is building and running on my phone, I will pause for a second here. Okay, so here we are with our application. Here is the text view that I was talking about, that will be changed shortly with the text that we will gonna enter in our edit text in the next activity. So let's click on the change me. It starts another activity telling us to write some text here like changed text. Then I will click change text, and you guys have seen that the text has changed respectively. I hope you have understand the basic concepts regarding this technique. I hope you have enjoyed this tutorial also. If you have any questions, do ask in the comment section. In the next video, I will gonna tell you about the another concept of Android broadcast receivers that you may use to communicate or share results from one activity to another. So till then, take care.